The rain pounded against the windshield like a relentless drumbeat as I pulled into the driveway of Ben's family home in suburban Chicago. I'd just been evicted from my crappy apartment after losing my job at the coffee shop, and Ben, my best friend since high school, had offered me his couch without a second thought. But as I stepped inside, shaking off the water, I caught the eye of his Uncle Charlie, who was visiting from out of town, and something in his gaze lingered a beat too long, sending an unexpected shiver down my spine. Ben clapped me on the back, his easy grin lighting up the dim hallway. "Alex, man, good to see you. Uncle Charlie's crashing here too for a couple weeks, helping my folks with some house stuff. You'll like him. He's cool for an old guy." Charlie, in his mid-40s with salt and pepper hair and a build that spoke of years in construction, extended a hand. His grip was firm, his smile warm, but there was an intensity behind it that made me pause. We settled into the living room, where Ben's parents were out for the evening, leaving the three of us to order pizza and crack open some beers. As the night wore on, Ben dominated the conversation with stories from his college days, but Charlie kept steering it back to me. "So, Alex, Ben tells me you're an artist. What kind of stuff do you paint?" His questions felt genuine, probing deeper than small talk. I found myself opening up about my struggles, how my conservative family back in Ohio had cut me off when I came out as gay 2 years ago, how I'd been scraping by in the city ever since. Charlie nodded thoughtfully, sharing bits of his own life. Divorced a decade ago. No kids, traveling for work. "Family can be tough," he said quietly. "Mine disowned me when I was your age for the same reason." The admission hung in the air, and Ben shot him a surprised look. "Uncle Charlie, I didn't know that." Charlie shrugged. "Some stories stay buried until the right moment." By midnight, Ben had passed out on the recliner, leaving Charlie and me alone with the glow of the TV. He leaned in, his voice low. "You seem like you've got a lot on your plate, Alex. If you need to talk, I'm here." It was kind, almost paternal, but there was an undercurrent that made my heart race. I mumbled thanks and headed to the guest room, but sleep didn't come easy. The next morning, Ben headed off to his part-time job at the auto shop, leaving me with the house to myself, or so I thought. Charlie was in the kitchen brewing coffee. "Morning," he said, handing me a mug. We talked for hours. About art, books, the loneliness of city life. He confessed he'd always admired creative types, having given up his own dreams for a stable career. There was a spark, subtle but undeniable, in the way our eyes met. Days blurred into a routine. Ben and I hung out in the evenings, playing video games or grabbing burgers. But during the day, Charlie and I found excuses to be around each other. He'd show me old photo albums, pointing out his younger self in faded pictures, laughing about his awkward phase. One afternoon, while Ben was out, we took a walk in the nearby park. The leaves were turning gold under the autumn sun, and Charlie opened up more. "After my divorce, I tried dating women again, thinking it was just a phase. But it wasn't. I've been living half a life, Alex." His vulnerability hit me hard. I shared my own fears of never finding someone who understood the rejection I'd faced. As we sat on a bench, our shoulders brushing, I felt a pull I hadn't expected. But doubts crept in. Charlie was Ben's uncle, twice my age, and this was his family's home. What was I doing? That evening, Ben noticed something off. "You okay, dude? You seem distracted." I brushed it off, but inside conflict brewed. Society whispered warnings. Age gaps, family ties, the stigma still clinging to gay relationships in pockets of America. Yet, Charlie's presence felt like a lifeline in my storm. As the week ended, Charlie suggested we grab lunch downtown, just the two of us. Ben had plans with friends, so I agreed. Over sandwiches in a bustling cafe, he reached across the table, his hand grazing mine. "Alex, I know this is complicated, but I feel a connection here. Do you?" My pulse quickened. I nodded but pulled back. "What about Ben? Your family?" He sighed. "They don't know everything about me, but life's too short to hide." The words echoed my own struggles, but the risk loomed large. Back at the house, Ben confronted me lightly. "You and Uncle Charlie seem buddy-buddy. What's up with that? I laughed it off, but tension simmered. That night, lying awake, I wondered if this was a fresh start or a recipe for disaster. The following days amplified the unspoken tension between Charlie and me. Mornings started with shared coffee in the kitchen, our conversations delving into deeper territories: politics, religion, the evolving landscape of LGBTQ rights in America. Charlie spoke passionately about the progress since Stonewall, but lamented the backlash in conservative states. "It's like we're winning battles but losing ground in hearts," he said one morning, his eyes locking onto mine with an intensity that made my stomach flip. I agreed, sharing stories from my time volunteering at a local pride center, where I'd seen families torn apart by intolerance. Ben, oblivious at first, began picking up on the vibes. During a barbecue in the backyard with his parents, he pulled me aside. "Dude, Uncle Charlie's been asking about you a lot. Like, your dating history and stuff. Weird, right?" I feigned ignorance, but inside, guilt gnawed at me. Ben's family was straight-laced Midwesterners. His parents attended a church that preached traditional values. If they suspected anything, it could explode. Yet Charlie's pull was magnetic. One evening, while Ben was at a movie with friends, Charlie and I ended up on the porch swing, watching the sunset. "Alex, I've never felt this way about someone so quickly," he admitted softly. "But I get it if the age thing bothers you." It did, a little. Society's judgment on May-December romances, especially in gay circles where youth was often idolized. But his maturity, his empathy drew me in. We shared our first tentative kiss that night, hidden in the shadows of the garage. It was gentle, exploratory, born of mutual loneliness. No fireworks, just a quiet affirmation. But the next day, reality crashed in. Ben's mom, Susan, overheard us laughing in the kitchen and commented innocently, "You two get along like old friends." Her words stung with unintended irony. Charlie and I stole moments. A brush of hands, a whispered word, but the secrecy weighed heavy. Conflict escalated when Ben invited his girlfriend, Lisa, over for dinner. She was chatty, perceptive, and during dessert, she tilted her head at Charlie and me. "You guys have great chemistry, like uncle-nephew vibes on steroids." Ben laughed, but his eyes narrowed slightly. Later, alone in the guest room, I wrestled with my choices. Was this fair to Ben? To his family? LGBTQ stories were full of hidden affairs leading to heartbreak, and I didn't want to be a statistic. Midweek, Charlie suggested a day trip to the City Art Museum, framing it as a group outing, but Ben bailed last minute for work. Alone amid the paintings, Charlie's hand found mine in a quiet gallery. "This feels right, Alex," he murmured. I pulled away gently. "But what if it's not? Your family," to Ben. "I'm just a friend crashing on the couch." He nodded, hurt flickering in his eyes. "I know the risks, but denying who we are, that's what society wants." Back home, the air thickened. Ben confronted Charlie over beers in the living room. "Uncle, what's going on with you and Alex? You're acting weird around him." Charlie deflected smoothly, but Ben wasn't buying it. That night, I overheard them arguing in the hallway. "He's my friend, Uncle. Don't mess this up." Charlie's response was calm. "Ben, life's complicated. Sometimes connections happen unexpectedly." The drama peaked when Susan found an old photo of Charlie with a male ex, tucked in his wallet by accident. She confronted him tearfully. "Is this why your marriage failed? Why you've been alone all these years?" Charlie came clean to his sister, admitting his sexuality for the first time. The house erupted: shouts, tears, accusations of deceit. Ben stood stunned, processing. "You never told us?" And now, with Alex, the revelation hit like a bomb, exposing family rifts long buried under politeness. I felt like an intruder, the catalyst for this chaos. As Susan stormed out, Charlie turned to me, his face etched with regret. "This is what I feared." But in the wreckage, a bond strengthened. Ben, after the initial shock, hugged his uncle. "I wish you'd told me sooner." Yet, questions lingered. Was our budding romance worth the fallout? Society's gaze loomed, judging age, family ties, the appropriateness of it all. Whispers in the neighborhood began, fueled by Susan's church friends. That uncle of theirs, and the young man staying over. The stigma of gay relationships in suburbia reared its head, turning private emotions into public scrutiny. As the week closed, Charlie and I shared a quiet moment in the park again. We have a choice, Alex. Fight for this or walk away. My heart tugged in both directions, the drama far from resolved. The fallout from Charlie's coming out rippled through the household like aftershocks. Susan oscillated between anger and sorrow, her faith clashing with familial love. "How could you hide this from us?" she demanded over breakfast, her voice cracking. Ben's dad, Tom, stayed mostly silent, retreating to his workshop, but his disapproval hung heavy. Ben, caught in the middle, tried mediating. "Mom, Uncle Charlie's still the same guy who taught me to fish. This doesn't change that." But Susan's response was laced with societal conditioning. "It's not just about him. It's about influence, especially with young people around." I felt the weight of her words, targeted indirectly at me. As the young person in question, my presence amplified the tension. Charlie and I kept our interactions platonic in front of others, but stolen glances spoke volumes. One afternoon, while helping Tom with yard work, he pulled me aside. "Alex, you're a good kid, but this situation, it's messy. Charlie's my brother-in-law, but family comes first." His warning was clear: back off. Yet, defiance grew. Charlie and I drove to a nearby LGBTQ support group meeting, seeking solace among strangers. Their stories of rejection and resilience mirrored our own. The older man shared his tale of loving someone half his age, facing judgment from all sides. "Society says we're predators or fools," he said. "But love doesn't check IDs." Charlie squeezed my hand under the table, a silent vow. Back home, Ben cornered me in the basement. "Alex, be straight with me. Are you and Uncle Charlie together?" I hesitated, then nodded. His face twisted in confusion. "Dude, that's my uncle. He's like a dad to me. This feels wrong." The betrayal in his eyes cut deep. We'd been friends for years, sharing secrets, but this crossed an invisible line. "What about the age thing? People will talk." I defended us. "Age is just a number, Ben. We've both been through hell, family rejection, loneliness. This feels real." The argument escalated, voices rising until Susan intervened. "This isn't appropriate under my roof," she declared, her conservative upbringing clashing with the unfolding drama. Tom suggested I find another place to stay, politely but firmly. Charlie stood up for me. "Alex hasn't done anything wrong. If anyone leaves, it's me." The family splintered further, old grievances surfacing. Charlie's divorce, his drifter lifestyle, now tied to his sexuality. Amid the chaos, Charlie and I found refuge in late-night talks on the porch. He shared memories of his first love, a college roommate, crushed by societal pressure. "I married to fit in, Alex. Wasted years." I confessed my fears of repeating patterns, dating older men as a crutch for stability. But his steadiness grounded me. One evening, we attended a local pride event, blending into the crowd. Rainbow flags waved under city lights, a stark contrast to suburban judgment. There, we held hands openly, a small act of rebellion. But reality intruded. Whispers at Ben's auto shop reached him. Coworkers joking about that gay uncle and his boy toy. Ben defended Charlie fiercely, but the strain showed. Lisa, his girlfriend, offered a neutral ear. "Love is love, right? But family dynamics, that's tricky." Her words sparked debate in my mind. Was our relationship selfish, ignoring the collateral damage? High drama unfolded when Susan invited her pastor over for guidance. The man, well-meaning but misguided, preached about choosing the right path. Charlie challenged him calmly. "My path is who I am." Denying it hurt everyone more. The session devolved into heated exchanges, exposing generational divides on LGBTQ issues. Susan tearfully admitted her love for Charlie but struggled with acceptance. "I don't want to lose you, but this, It's hard. As emotions peaked, Ben pulled away from me, our friendship fracturing. I need space, Alex. The loss stung worse than expected. Charlie comforted me, but doubt crept in. Were we forcing change too fast? Society's norms, nuclear families, age-appropriate partners, clashed with our reality, fueling internal conflict. In a quiet moment, Charlie proposed we take a break. Maybe give them time, but I refused, clinging to the connection. The high-stakes drama built, testing loyalties and beliefs. Would the family heal or shatter? The answer hung precariously, as tensions simmered toward a boiling point. The household teetered on the edge of implosion as accusations flew. Susan, grappling with her brother's revelation, confided in church friends, unwittingly spreading the news through the neighborhood grapevine. Soon, sidelong glances from neighbors became outright stares. One evening, a longtime family friend dropped by, offering prayers for guidance, with a pointed look at Charlie and me. "We just want what's best," she said, her tone dripping with judgment. Charlie's response was measured. "Best for who? Your comfort or our happiness?" Ben, torn between loyalty to his uncle and discomfort with our relationship, distanced himself further. Our once easy hangouts turned awkward, filled with unspoken resentments. "I get you're happy, Alex, but this affects all of us," he said during a tense drive to the store. "People at work are asking questions. It's embarrassing." His words highlighted the societal backlash. Gay couples still face scrutiny, especially with age disparities. I countered, "Embarrassing? Try living in hiding your whole life." The exchange left us both raw. Charlie faced professional repercussions too. His construction firm, based in a conservative town nearby, caught wind of the scandal. A coworker pulled him aside. "Boss isn't thrilled about the rumors. Keep your personal life personal." Charlie brushed it off, but worry lines etched his face. "I've built my career on being dependable, not controversial," he admitted to me later. Our relationship, once a private solace, now invited public debate on ethics. Was it predatory, opportunistic, or genuine? Amid the storm, small acts of support emerged. Lisa stood by Ben but encouraged understanding. "Your uncle's brave for coming out now. And Alex, he's been through a lot." Her perspective sparked a family dinner discussion, where Tom finally spoke up. "Charlie, I always suspected, but it wasn't my business. But involving Alex. He's young, impressionable." The age gap became the flashpoint, echoing broader societal debates on power dynamics in LGBTQ relationships. I defended us passionately. "I'm not a kid, Tom. I'm 25 with my own scars. Charlie sees me, not my age." Susan softened slightly, sharing stories of her own youthful rebellions. But old habits died hard. She suggested counseling, framing our bond as confused emotions. Charlie refused. "This isn't a phase. It's who I am." The climax built when Ben discovered old messages on my phone. Innocent but affectionate exchanges with Charlie. "How long has this been going on?" he demanded, hurt flashing in his eyes. "Under my nose, in my house?" The betrayal felt personal, fracturing our brotherhood. Charlie intervened, explaining, "It wasn't planned, Ben, but denying it would be lying to ourselves." Ben stormed out, leaving silence in his wake. In the aftermath, Charlie and I escaped to a cabin rental upstate for a weekend, seeking breathing room. There, away from prying eyes, we confronted our doubts. "Is this worth the pain we're causing?" I asked, staring at the lake. Charlie pulled me close. "Love always comes with costs, Alex. But hiding? That's a higher price." We returned resolved, but the home front had shifted. Susan had researched LGBTQ resources, a tentative step toward acceptance. "I don't understand it all, but I love you, Charlie." Yet external pressures mounted. A local news story about non-traditional families sparked online debates, with our situation mirroring the controversy. Anonymous comments flooded Ben's social media. "That uncle preying on his nephew's friend? Disgusting." The vitriol amplified internal conflicts, questioning if our romance fueled harmful stereotypes. Ben eventually returned, initiating a heart-to-heart. I miss my friend, Alex, and I want Uncle Charlie happy. But it's hard to wrap my head around. We talked for hours, bridging gaps with honesty. He admitted his own biases shaped by upbringing. Society drills in what's normal. I'm trying to unlearn that. As resolutions flickered, the drama underscored broader issues. Family acceptance, generational clashes, the fight for LGBTQ visibility in everyday America. Charlie and I chose to proceed cautiously, prioritizing healing. But the path ahead remained fraught, with choices defining us all. Reconciliation crept in slowly, like dawn after a long night. Susan organized a family meeting, sans judgment, where emotions poured out. I've been scared of change, she confessed, tears streaming. But losing you, Charlie, that scares me more. Tom nodded in agreement, his stoic facade cracking. Ben, still processing, added, I want to support you both, but give me time. The gathering wasn't perfect. Lingering awkwardness persisted, but it marked a turning point, challenging ingrained societal norms. Charlie and I navigated our relationship with newfound caution. We attended couples therapy at a LGBTQ-friendly center, addressing age dynamics and external pressures. Power imbalances are real, the counselor noted, but mutual respect can bridge them. Sessions revealed my reliance on Charlie's stability, his on my youthful energy. Flaws we worked to balance. Outside, neighborhood gossip faded as bolder stories emerged nationally. Supreme Court rulings, pride parades, shifting public opinion. Ben thawed gradually, joining us for neutral outings like baseball games. You're good for each other, he admitted one day, watching Charlie and me banter. Lisa's influence helped, advocating for empathy. Yet, subtle conflicts arose. At a family reunion, distant relatives whispered, their conservative views clashing with our presence. Not in front of the kids, one aunt muttered. Charlie stood firm. Hiding teaches shame. We're family too. The drama culminated in a heated community forum on LGBTQ rights, sparked by local legislation. Charlie spoke publicly, sharing his story, including our relationship as an example of everyday struggles. Love doesn't conform to expectations, he declared. Backlash followed. Online trolls, a few lost clients for his business. But support surged too. Neighbors offering quiet solidarity. Ben defending him online. My uncle's a hero for living truthfully. I faced my own trials, securing a freelance art gig that boosted my independence. I'm not just the young guy anymore, I told Charlie proudly. Our bond deepened, rooted in shared resilience. Yet, society's gaze lingered, debating the morality of our choices. Age gaps labeled predatory. Family ties deemed taboo. As months passed, the household stabilized. Susan volunteered at a PFLAG chapter. Tom shared fishing trips with Charlie again. Ben and I rebuilt our friendship, stronger for the fractures. Charlie proposed a future together, moving to a more accepting city like San Francisco. A fresh start, he said. I agreed, excited yet wary of new challenges. In the end, our story wasn't a fairy tale but a testament to messy, human love. We chose each other amid chaos, defying norms that sought to divide. But one question remains, sparking endless debate. Was pursuing this relationship, despite the family upheaval and societal backlash, ultimately the right choice? True or false?